Welcome to One and Done, where we take deep dives into TV shows that only lasted for one season. In this series, we're talking about Persons Unknown, which premiered in 2010 on NBC. The show followed a group of strangers who are abducted and wake up trapped in a deserted town under constant surveillance. Despite its engaging mystery and psychological tension, Persons Unknown struggled with inconsistent pacing and convoluted plot lines. Critics and audiences felt the show didn't provide enough answers, which contributed to its decline in popularity. Low ratings and a lack of clear direction led to the show's cancellation after just one season, but the bonkers premise and character choices make it a fun watch. Episode 1. We start off with Janet at a park in San Francisco, watching her daughter Megan play. She encounters Mr. Edick, a private investigator she hired to find her missing husband. And oh yeah, she owes him money. He says he hasn't found her husband, but Janet's not buying it and accuses him of being on her husband's payroll to keep him hidden. We're putting this whole missing husband thing on a shelf for later because you just know it's going to come back. Then disaster strikes. Janet looks up and can't find Megan anywhere. Panic sets in. She frantically searches the playground, but instead of finding her daughter, a couple of guys in blue jumpsuits grab her, chloroform her, and haul her off. Janet wakes up in a weird hotel room. No clue where she is, but she immediately starts screaming for Megan. The door's locked. The windows? Also locked. And to make it worse, she spots a surveillance camera on the ceiling. Maybe she should have booked through VRBO. She starts talking to the camera, pleading for her daughter. When she doesn't get any answers, Janet goes full rage mode and starts breaking apart furniture like she's stuck in some discount Midwestern escape room. Then suddenly, a guy Hawaiian punches his way in, and we know it's 2010, because he's wearing a long-sleeve t-shirt under a short-sleeve t-shirt combo. He introduces himself as Joe. He doesn't know how he got there either. He convinces Janet to leave, but not before being a little creepy. They head out into the hallway, and we meet others who also got abducted. We've got Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Moira, a woman who emits strong Karen energy, Chadwick Boseman, and Shannon from Lost. They can't leave the floor because the doors are locked with magnets, so New York Joe comes up with this genius idea to make a fire, hoping it'll set off the smoke alarm and magically unlock the magnet doors. Because sure, that's definitely safe. Cut to San Francisco, where we meet a reporter who's the American version of the dude from Flight of the Conchords. He's investigating Janet's disappearance, which he seems oddly interested in, even though he usually writes about sleazy stories. Back at the hotel, tensions are rising. People are getting suspicious. The group starts eyeing each other like they're in some low-budget trust experiment. Joe's fire-starting skills kick in after about a minute of rubbing sticks together, but before the doors unlock, the elevator mysteriously opens. Naturally, they all pile in and head downstairs. Once outside, they realize they are in a creepy ghost town. Phones don't work, and when they get to the police station, it's deserted, or so they think. But don't worry, Joe and Chadwick Boseman do some fancy sign language and quickly wrestle the gun away from Bill. This won't be the first time unarmed people wrestle guns away from people, so get ready to drink. Now there's a debate. Do they leave town to look for help or stay put? Somehow, only Janet and Joe decide to walk to the edge of town. But as soon as they get there, they collapse in an unintentionally hilarious way. We cut back to San Francisco, where Jermaine is following up on Janet's disappearance, talking to Janet's mom, Eleanor, who's now looking after Megan. Eleanor totally sucks. She admits that Janet accused her of being abusive, and while she claims it's all nonsense, she does casually drop that she hit Janet with a hairbrush once. After Megan heads back out to play, Eleanor mentions how this is her chance to make up for her so-called bad parenting. Concord reassures her, saying Janet will turn up soon and leaves, which I sincerely doubt a police officer would ever say in that situation. They're totally unaware that someone's watching Eleanor through surveillance. Back at the ghost town, the group is back in the hotel when they see a van roll up. Janet, New York Joe, and Shannon are carried out, unconscious, by a group of men in jumpsuits. They're taken inside, and when they come to, the group notices they've all got fresh scars on their thighs. Moira is the one to point out that they've got implants, biometric ones. Shannon explains these are basically remote-controlled tranquilizer injectors. They can't remove them without some serious medical help. Things just keep getting weirder. Next thing you know, the group's invited to a fully staffed Chinese restaurant in the middle of this deserted town. They all have their suspicions, but Joe takes the lead, shotgun out, just like he's ready to raid the place. After some tense moments, they sit down for dinner, and honestly, it's the kind of meal that makes you hungry just watching. Janet, however, isn't in the mood. Her mind's still on Megan. Way to ruin dinner, Megan. After dinner, fortune cookies get passed around. Janet makes a bizarre comment that she hopes her kid was kidnapped because at least she'd be safe. The group opens their fortune cookies in true dramatic fashion. Joe says something shady about his judgment. Shannon's is in Chinese, and no one can translate it. And Moira sounds like she's in for a prize. Janet claims hers is an Irish proverb. May the road rise to meet you. Except, she's hiding something. The group heads back to the hotel and meets the new night manager, who literally feels like an NPC from a video game. He says he just started working there and is unfazed by the bizarre circumstances, like he's used to it. While everyone's talking, Janet steps aside, takes out her fortune, and looks at it again. Turns out it's not an Irish proverb after all. Her real fortune? Kill your neighbor and you'll go free. And that's how we wrap up episode 1, leaving us with so many questions. Why was Janet really taken? What's up with the creepy ghost town? And what's the deal with that fortune cookie? As tensions rise and alliances start to form, one thing's for sure. This is just the beginning of what's shaping up to be a wild, unsettling ride.